Hi, today I will make a video about ID.me. Yes, for your EDD and employment video tips. And now I'm giving you tips on how to verifying with ID.me. That's right. There's a couple of issues, couple of problems with people trying to verify with ID.me. It's been happening since it started. And now I'm gonna give you a short video on how you can actually get verified a lot quicker, right? Remember we discussed it before, talking about with the taxes, you have to show up taxes. But now we got a little bit more tips from the EDD department, and I'm gonna show you guys what's it all about, right? So again, they just released a new video saying tips to verify your identity with a trusted referee, and it's from the Employment Development Department, right? And now these tips, like I said, it's pretty simple. Again, you have to show your ID, whether it's a passport, your birth certificate, or your regular ID, and you have to take a picture and upload it, right, along with other documents such as, like I said, your birth certificate and your tax forms. Remember, if you use your taxes, then it's a lot faster to get verified. You can even get verified within a week, right? Which is great. Super fast, super easy. It's way faster than if you have your Social Security benefits or any other type of like work history, right? If you're using your checks, work history checks, then it's gonna take a little bit longer, right? The fastest way is always your taxes because everything matches the records of your application that you apply with the unemployment department, right? And that's the most important thing. You have to match the same records, the same name, the same address, and even the same phone number, right? Which again, I'm gonna show you in this picture right here. It says blurry or shadow ID pictures. When you take a picture, make sure it's clean, clear, and visible, right? If it's blurry or shadowed, sometimes you move your cell phone, it's not completely clear, then it's gonna delay the process of actually getting approved, right? With ID.me. Then you're gonna have to talk to a trusted referee and have to be waiting on the line for like 5 hours or even more, right? Which most people you don't want to do, right? So the next step is obviously incorrect or outdated credit information. Okay, so if they check your credit information and let's say you're on bankrupt or let's say it's outdated or probably incorrect, then most likely it's going to cause another pause and you have to talk to a referee through the video, right? Another reason could also be non-existent or frozen credit. Most people freeze their credit so people won't, so they won't be victims of fraud, which is most recommended for some people, for most people. But if it's actually frozen, that could be an issue to actually get verified with ID.me, right? So if it's frozen, better unfreeze it so it could be clean and visible, and the ID.me company can actually verify your identity, right? For the unemployment department. Once you're verified, you can actually freeze your credit again. So it's most advisable to do so after you get obviously approved by ID.me and get your benefits on time. Another reason, it could be your wrong phone number. Let's say you have an account with T-Mobile or any other cell phone carrier, and it's under your name, and then all of a sudden you apply with a different phone number and it's not under your name. That could be a reason. Usually when you go and apply and add a second line, you also have to put their first and last name. Now, if it's not under your first and last name, it could be another reason it's delayed, right? So make sure you use your actual phone number that you actually applied the first time, because that's the phone number they're gonna match the records, and that's how you're gonna get verified, right? Again, if it's a different phone number, you have to let them know that you actually changed your phone number. If you change your credit or maybe any type of information or ID, you have to let them know, proving with a full document stating the facts that that's the reason you changed it and that's your new phone number or your information, right? Now, the next picture that I have right here is ID.me do's and don'ts, right? Now, we give right here 7 examples of what to do in cases so they won't pause or they won't deny your verification, right? So you could get approved and get benefits a lot faster. Step 1, it says do not upload the same document twice, okay? If you're gonna upload your ID, make sure you upload one document of your ID and not 2 IDs, right? If you upload 2, it's gonna cause a problem, and you're not gonna get verified with ID.me, right? You have to talk to a representative through video, and it's gonna take a long time and even longer, okay? Now remember, only one document per document. If that's your taxes, your ID, your social security, your birth certificate, only one document per category, okay? And then you move on to the next category and upload it, and just again, one file only. Step 2, make sure your documents are acceptable. If your documents are, let's say, if you get your documents in paper and you try to take a picture, again, if it's blurry, if it's messy, if it's dirty, if it's shadowed, if it's dark, you got to make it clean, visible, and clean. If it's wrinkled, it might not be acceptable, right? So make sure your documents are acceptable, have title, everything complete, just how you got it from the city, from the government, or from for whatever it is, the DMV. and you make sure it's all clean, legit, 100%, the real thing, right? So there won't be any denials of your application, your verification as well, right? Step 3, expired documents. Now, we talked about this before in my other videos. Expired documents, if your ID is expired, it will not pass, right? Your ID has to be valid. You may have to make sure in state of California, they passed a law for this year throughout the pandemic saying that expired IDs will be verified, will be counted as valid ID, right? It won't be counted as expired, especially when I'm able to travel to the DMV and get your new renewal of your ID, right? So because of this issue, most people couldn't get verified. I explained it in my other videos. So make sure it's not expired, right? Any documents you have, make sure it's not expired, it's valid. Social Security, your ID, any taxes has to be within this year, and you'll be able to get approved faster, right? If not, you have to wait. You might have to do a reappeal, and you don't want to do all that, right? Step 4, ineligible secondary documents. If they ask for any documents that you actually have to provide, so let's say if you ask for your taxes or any proof of your check stubs or maybe your address, if they ask for it, then if they don't count, then it's not going to work, right? So that's going to pose another stop into your application, into your verification of ID.me, right? So make sure they're eligible, they're accepted, and they're valid, right? They're not expired, they're not blurry, they're clean, clear, and visible, right? Step 5, do not use photocopies. Okay, usually when you go to Xerox room, you try to get a copy, and and you get a black and white version of the real document, right? Do not use that version because then they're gonna say it's probably fraud. Someone try to do fraud on that document, and now they're trying to upload it and be identity theft as someone serving as you, right? So you don't want that. You want the clear thing, the real thing, 100% from the government, from the city, from the office, and you'll be able to get verified a lot faster, right? Step 6, imagine that you submit doesn't capture the full document. So it's another issue. If you upload your ID, make sure you get the whole ID. If you upload a document, make sure you get the whole paper inside the picture, right? If you get just part of the document, part of the ID, it might not show your address, it might not show you part of your picture, or maybe even if it does, it might not show the title or any other numbers that they're trying to look for, right? If the ID has to be the real thing, so you have to take a picture of the real full ID inside the picture, right? In other words, again, you get the camera. If you can't see the edges, I mean, you have to go further until you see the edges of the ID, until you see the corners, and you got to capture it, take a picture, and upload it, right? So that's how you actually upload each document. It has to be the full thing, and you don't have to, and it won't create problems, right? Step 6, imagine you submit doesn't capture the full document. Okay, now this is an issue with all the elderly people. Many people do this, especially if you use your cell phone, especially like if you're just doing it in a rush. Make sure it's clean, full, and visible, like I spoke earlier, and make sure you get the full document, the full ID in the picture, right? Most people try to zoom in and try to get a clear picture because it's kind of blurry, but you actually got to zoom out and get the whole ID, right? The whole document inside the picture. Now, most people don't take the pictures showing the edges and the corners of each document, and that's why they put a pause on the application and verification, right? So in other words, if you see ID, make sure the full ID, the full card, the full corners and edges shows in your screen and then in the cell phone, and you take a picture, right? It show the whole thing, and as well as the document, right? The full corners, the corners, the edges, the full document, the full paper. You have to show in the picture, or else it won't be verified. Okay. Step 7, some documents will require that you upload an image of both in front and back sides, right? So what this means, just like your driver license, you have to take a picture of the front of the driver license and the back of the driver license, right? Why? Because the front has the information and the back has a barcode that actually uses to scan it, right? And some stores, some DMVs and some offices, they actually require you to actually prove verification, just like swiping your ID in the ATM machine, or even scanning the back of your ID to actually verify if the ID is 100% real, right? Most people have fake IDs, so this is the one way California and other states actually prove the ID is real by scanning it, right? Again, this process is for all states, so make sure to follow these steps to get verified a lot faster, right? And that's pretty much it. Front and back of both documents. If they ask for it, your ID for sure has to be front and back, and that's how you're gonna get verified, right? Another reason your process might be delayed is because you're using your cell phone. Okay, sometimes and not get verified, and sometimes they ask you to actually talk to a video referee, representative through the video call, right? And since you're on your cell phone, you have bad data connection, you have bad Wi-Fi connection, and you have to have actually connected to the internet, right? So if you have bad data and bad Wi-Fi, that means you're gonna get disconnected and you have to start the process all over, right? If it's a 5-hour wait period of time, that means you're gonna have to wait 5 hours online on the phone with the same screen, so you won't be disconnected. If not, you're gonna lose your place in line, right? Most people didn't know that. I can explain it on my videos, and this is what you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to use a desktop computer. You're gonna have to use either if it's Windows or Apple, or you can also use your tablet. Why? Because it's a lot easier than your cell phone. Your cell phone, you might answer a call, then you get disconnected. Your cell phone, you might be on data, signal's not good, and you might get disconnected. So in the tablet, computer, or Apple, Windows or Apple computer, you're actually connected to the internet through Wi-Fi, right? So that's a lot stronger internet connection, and that means you can actually leave it there, go do your things, and then come back if it's a 5-hour wait period and not be disconnected, right? You can open a different tab and you can continue your work and not be disconnected. So it's a lot better than using your cell phone, okay? If your cell phone is the only choice, then I mean, by all means, use your cell phone. But if you don't, if you also have a computer, I would suggest 100% that you should use a computer instead, right? Okay, so I mean that's a very important information because a lot of people use their cell phones and they get disconnected, right? And after you follow all these steps and you actually get verified, remember you have to go back to ID.me and actually allow the EDD to connect with this company called ID.me, right? If not, then ID doesn't know if you actually got approved or not, right? So you have to go back and it says we verify your identity, just like on the screen right here, and then you have to put allow the EDD department actually communicate with ID.me, right? So and then they'll know that you got verified, and then they'll start the process of giving you your benefits, right? Your well-deserved, earned, hard-working benefits. So yeah, and that's how you get your money. That's how you get verified, and those are the steps that we know, right? So again, if you like this video, please hit subscribe button, hit the like button. I got many more videos to come. Ask me if you need a video. Write me in a comment. Subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok. I'll be making more videos, right? Okay, thank you.